Hi, I'm Laura McMahon-Higgins. Welcome back to Nasty or Necessary, the series where we examine common clauses from commercial construction contracts to answer the question, is it necessary or just plain nasty? Today, we are looking at a whole class of clause, pay when paid clauses. A pay when paid clause is any clause that seeks to make an entitlement under a subcontract here contingent on an entitlement or event under the head contract. A straight up pay when paid clause will look like this. The contractor shall pay the subcontractor the subcontract sum if and when it is paid by the principal. Now, a more subtle version of the clause may look like this, where we don't limit payment entirely, but we tie it to the amount of payment under the head contract. The amount the subcontractor is entitled to recover in respect of a variation is capped at the amount the contractor can recover under the head contract in respect of the same variation. Now, pay when paid clauses, which originated in the late 80s, early 90s, were not originally designed to be evil. They were designed to be like a cash flow protection mechanism, like a heads up. Mate, if they're late paying me, I might be late paying you because that's where your money is coming from. Unfortunately though, that's not how they ended up being used. Because what happened all the time in practice was that a subcontractor would complete their work perfectly and claim money under the subcontract. Meanwhile, the contractor would default under the head contract. So when the contractor asked the principal for money under the head contract, the principal would deny the payment. Now, it's worth noting that the principal is doing nothing wrong. They have every legal right to deny payment based on the non-conformance. The problem is, though, that the non-payment triggers the pay when paid clause, and it gives the contractor a legal right to deny payment to the subcontractor. The end result is that the subcontractor bears the liability of whether or not the contractor performs under the head contract, which is not something that the subcontractor has any control or visibility over. Therefore, these clauses weigh in at nasty. Not only are they nasty, they created significant insolvency in the industry. Because in a large-scale infrastructure project, you wouldn't have 3 links in the chain, you might have a dozen. And pay when paid clauses were basically like turning off the tap of money that should flow through a project. Now I have some good news for you. It's not always doom and gloom here at Questamon. The good news is that these clauses are actually not enforceable. The Building and Construction Industry Security of Payments Act of Western Australia, and there's equivalent legislation in all Australian jurisdictions, prohibits the use of pay when paid clauses in construction contracts. Now, this means that it's a bit like the law grabs a red pen, jumps into your contract and crosses out the offending clause. So if you currently have a contract that includes a pay when paid clause, you're now aware that it cannot be used to withhold payment or limit entitlement in a subcontract based on the operation of a head contract. That wraps up this episode of Nasty or Necessary. If you found this helpful, please follow along for more content or sign up to complete my online training course today for skills you can put into practice immediately. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way, so let us help you to help yourself.